What does it truly take to stand against monsters, both real and metaphorical? The Epic of Beowulf begins with this age-old question: what truly defines a hero? Beowulf, a fearless young warrior from the land of the Geats, embarks on a perilous journey to answer that very question. Word has reached him of the kingdom of Denmark, where a fearsome creature named Grendel has been haunting King Hrothgar's hall, slaughtering his men night after night. No one dares challenge this monstrous being until Beowulf arrives. He doesn't seek fame for its own sake, but the honor that comes from facing the impossible and proving one's courage. This is not just a tale of battles between men and monsters. It's the story of a hero's unyielding bravery, the pursuit of glory, and the weight of destiny. But what drove Beowulf to leave the safety of his home and confront such unimaginable danger? Was it pure courage or something deeper? An inner calling to fulfill a destiny greater than himself. His journey to Denmark is just the beginning of a legend that would echo through the ages. Beowulf's tale, filled with towering foes and unspeakable challenges, became one of the most enduring stories in human history. As we delve deeper into this myth, we'll uncover the untold truths that shaped Beowulf's extraordinary life. A life marked by fierce battles, unshakable loyalty, and the timeless question, what does it mean to be a true hero? The kingdom of Denmark had fallen into a state of despair, haunted by a creature of unspeakable terror. For years, King Hrothgar's Grand Mead Hall, Heorot, had been the target of relentless attacks by the monstrous Grendel. Every night, this towering beast, fueled by envy and rage, would descend upon the hall, slaughtering Hrothgar's warriors without mercy. The sound of revelry that once filled Heorot had turned into the mournful cries of the survivors. Grendel's wrath left the kingdom paralyzed with fear, as no weapon seemed to harm the creature, and no warrior dared to challenge it. But hope appeared in the form of a young, fearless Geatish hero named Beowulf. Upon hearing of Hrothgar's plight, Beowulf saw his opportunity, not for riches or power, but for glory and the chance to cement his place in legend. Determined to face Grendel and end the nightmare, Beowulf assembled a small band of warriors and set sail for Denmark, his heart filled with both anticipation and a sense of destiny. This was not just a journey to slay a monster. It was the beginning of Beowulf's rise to greatness. Little did he know, the trials ahead would test his strength, courage, and resolve in ways far beyond what he had ever imagined. His confrontation with Grendel was only the first of many battles that would shape the legacy of a hero destined to stand against the darkest forces of the world. Upon arriving in Denmark, Beowulf wasted no time in preparing for the greatest challenge of his life. The kingdom of Hrothgar had been terrorized for years by the monstrous Grendel, a creature so fearsome that no warrior had dared to face him and live to tell the tale. But Beowulf was no ordinary hero. Unlike the others, he chose to confront Grendel in the purest, most dangerous way possible, without weapons. To Beowulf, it was a matter of honor. If Grendel used only his bare hands to slaughter men, then Beowulf would fight him the same way. This decision wasn't just about bravery, it was about proving that true strength came from within. As night fell, tension filled the great hall of Heorot. The warriors, fearful yet hopeful, awaited the monster's arrival. When Grendel finally stormed in, smashing through the doors with his terrifying force, Beowulf was ready. What followed was a battle unlike any the kingdom had ever seen. A brutal, primal clash of strength and will. The ground shook as Beowulf wrestled with the giant, his grip unrelenting. In a final, powerful surge, Beowulf tore Grendel's arm from his body, mortally wounding the beast. The kingdom erupted in celebration. Their nightmare, it seemed, was over. But as the cheers echoed through the halls, a greater danger lurked beneath the surface. Grendel's mother, a creature far more vengeful and dangerous than her son, awaited in the shadows. Unseen and furious, she would soon rise to challenge Beowulf in a way he had never imagined, pushing his courage and strength to their absolute limits. Beowulf's victory over Grendel, while celebrated, proved to be only the beginning of his trials. That very night, a new terror descended upon Heorot. Grendel's mother, consumed by a vengeful rage for her slain son, struck the heart of King Hrothgar's court. In the darkness, she brutally killed one of Hrothgar's dearest advisors before vanishing into the shadows, retreating to her lair deep beneath a dark, foreboding lake. Her attack was not a mere act of revenge, It was a mother's fury, a primal force far more dangerous than Grendel himself. This new threat cast a deeper shadow over the kingdom, one that even Beowulf could not ignore. With the weight of a kingdom's hopes on his shoulders, Beowulf once again rose to the challenge. Armed with a sword forged by giants, he ventured into the black waters of the lake, descending into its deadly depths. The lair was cold, the water thick with ancient power, and every breath seemed a battle in itself. Beneath the surface, Beowulf faced Grendel's mother in a fierce and desperate struggle. Her strength was immense, and her fury relentless, nearly overwhelming the hero. For a moment, it seemed that Beowulf's courage and strength might not be enough. Yet, driven by his unwavering resolve, Beowulf struck the fatal blow, slaying her and bringing peace to Hrothgar's kingdom once again. This hard-earned victory cemented Beowulf's reputation as a true hero. But as the legend of his bravery spread, his destiny was not yet fulfilled. This was only one chapter of a much greater saga that would test him in ways even he could not foresee. After his triumphant victories in Denmark, Beowulf returned to his homeland, the Geats, where he was celebrated not just as a hero, but as a symbol of strength and honor. The songs of his bravery echoed through the halls, recounting his battles with Grendel and Grendel's mother. His reputation grew far and wide, and it wasn't long before the people of Geatland asked Beowulf to become their king. As a ruler, Beowulf led with the same wisdom, courage, and fairness he had shown in battle. Under his reign, peace flourished, and the Geats enjoyed years of prosperity, their land untouched by conflict. For many, it seemed as if Beowulf had finally left his days of battling monsters behind, his kingdom secure and his legacy already cemented in history. But as time passed, it became clear that Beowulf's story was not yet finished. Even though he had aged, his destiny was still bound to the world of myth and monsters. A new and terrifying threat emerged, one that would challenge him like never before. Deep within the earth, a dragon had awoken, its wrath triggered by the theft of a single treasured cup from its hoard. The beast began to ravage the land, destroying villages and spreading terror throughout the kingdom. For Beowulf, this was more than just another battle. It was a final test of his courage, strength, and leadership. Though he was no longer the young warrior who had slain Grendel, Beowulf knew that only he could face this monstrous foe. The fate of his people and his legacy depended on this last fearsome confrontation. In the twilight of his life, when many would have settled into peace, Beowulf was summoned to confront his greatest and final challenge. A powerful dragon, awoken by the theft of a single golden cup from its vast treasure hoard, began to unleash fiery devastation upon Beowulf's kingdom. Despite his advancing age, the weight of leadership, and the toll that years of battle had taken on his body, Beowulf knew his duty as king. His people, the Geats, needed him once more. And so, with the same courage and unwavering resolve that had defined his youth, Beowulf took up his sword and shield for what would be his last battle. This time, however, Beowulf faced an enemy unlike any he had encountered before. The dragon's ferocity was unmatched, its flames consuming all in its path. The battle was fierce, and while Beowulf fought with the heart of the hero he had always been, the years had made him slower, his body not as resilient. In the end, with the help of his loyal follower Wiglaf, Beowulf dealt the final blow, slaying the beast and saving his kingdom from utter destruction. But victory came at a steep cost. Beowulf had been mortally wounded in the fight, his body failing as the last remnants of the dragon's fire flickered out. With his final breaths, he looked upon his kingdom one last time, content in knowing he had fulfilled his duty. Beowulf's final act of bravery cemented his legacy as the greatest hero the Geats had ever known, ensuring that his name and his deeds would be remembered for generations to come. Beowulf's death sent waves of grief through his people, for the Geats had lost not just a king, but a protector, a hero who had given his life to save them from a terrible fate. The void left by his passing was profound, as the man who had once slain monsters and ruled with wisdom was now gone. Yet, even in their mourning, the Geats understood that Beowulf's legacy was far more than a mere memory. It was a testament to courage, honor, and the ultimate sacrifice. His death, like his life, was a final act of bravery that secured the safety of his kingdom, and his people knew that his story was far from over. To honor him, Beowulf's loyal followers built a great barrow on a cliff overlooking the sea, a towering monument visible to all who sailed by, ensuring that his name would never be forgotten. But this tomb was not just a marker of where he lay. It symbolized something greater. It stood for the heroism Beowulf embodied, the ideals he lived and died for. His life as a fearless warrior and a just king became the very definition of what it meant to be a true hero. Though his body rested in the earth, his legend soared above, carried by the songs of bards and the stories told around fires. The Geats mourned their king deeply, but they also celebrated his eternal spirit, knowing that in every tale, in every whispered word of his deeds, Beowulf lived on. Legends like his do not die with the body. They continue to inspire, growing larger with each retelling, ensuring that Beowulf's name and the legacy of his courage would echo through the ages. The story of Beowulf is far more than an epic filled with monstrous foes and heroic battles. It is a profound reflection on the nature of heroism, sacrifice, and the legacy we all leave behind. From the moment Beowulf, a young and ambitious warrior, sails to Denmark to face the terror of Grendel, his journey becomes a timeless tale of courage. Each challenge he faces, whether it's Grendel's fury, the vengeance of Grendel's mother, or the fearsome dragon in his later years, serves as a metaphor for the trials we all encounter in life. Beowulf's unwavering resolve in confronting these threats head-on is a testament to his strength of character and the ideals he embodies. But Beowulf's story does not end with his triumphs on the battlefield. As he transitions from warrior to king, his focus shifts to protecting his people and ensuring their safety, showcasing the wisdom and responsibility that come with true leadership. In his final act of courage, Beowulf sacrifices his life to defeat the dragon, securing his kingdom's future even as his own comes to an end. It is through this ultimate sacrifice that Beowulf's legacy is solidified. Not just as a warrior, but as a hero who understood that greatness is not just about winning battles, but about what we give to others. Even in death, Beowulf's name lives on, passed down through generations as one of history's most enduring myths. His story reminds us that while our time on Earth may be brief, the mark of true heroism, the impact of our deeds, and the honor we carry can echo through eternity.